Well, I was trying to get a little light up in here, but we got a lot of light. Look like. So, I hope that's not too much. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Tamika Collins, and you are here on my YouTube page, and we are reading the Bible from beginning to end, from Genesis to Revelations on these episodes. And on this episode, we are in Numbers, the third chapter. We've read the first and the second chapter. And y'all know we like to recap. So let's recap. Y'all, I still got my little scarf on because I didn't want to take my hair down. It's about bedtime. I'm about ready to go to bed. Already early. So, recapping. Chapter 1 talked about God has told Moses to take a census of everyone and write down how many men 20 years and older that can be in the number to go to war. Altogether was 603,550 men, and that is not counting the Levites because God wanted them to only be able to do the duties of taking care of the tabernacle. Chapter 2 talked about the camps and their organizations, where they should be located and where they lived and how they marched in line, as well as setting up and tearing down their villages before moving on to the next. Okay, so now we're in chapter 3. I hope everyone is doing great. Chapter 3 talks about the role of the Levites. This is the family line of Aaron and Moses, as it was recorded when the Lord spoke to Moses on Mount Sinai. The names of Aaron's sons were Nadab, the oldest, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. These sons of Aaron were anointed and ordained to minister as priests, but Nadab and Abihu died in the Lord's presence in the wilderness of Sinai when they burned before the Lord the wrong kind of fire, different than he had commanded. Since they had no sons, they left only Eleazar and Ithamar to serve as priests with their father Aaron. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Call forth the tribe of Levi and present them to Aaron and the priests to serve as his assistants. They will serve Aaron and the whole community, performing their sacred duties in and around the tabernacle. They will also maintain all the furnishings of the sacred tent, serving in the tabernacle on behalf of all the Israelites. Assign the Levites to Aaron and his sons. They have been given from among all the people of Israel to serve as their assistants. Appoint Aaron and his sons to carry out the duties of the priesthood. But any unauthorized person who goes too near the sanctuary must be put to death." And the Lord said to Moses, "Look, I have chosen the Levites from among the Israelites to serve as substitutes for all the firstborn sons of the people of Israel. The Levites belong to me, for all the firstborn males are mine. On the day I struck down all firstborn sons of the Egyptians, I set apart for myself all the firstborn in Israel, both of people and of animals. They are mine. I am the Lord." Registration of the Levites. Verse 14. The Lord spoke again to Moses in the wilderness of Sinai. He said, "Record the names of the members of the tribe of Levi by their families and their clans. List every male who is 1 month old or older." So Moses listed them just as the Lord had commanded. Levi had 3 sons whose names were Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. The clans descended from Gershon were named after 2 of his descendants, Libni and Shimei. The clans descended from Kohath were named after his 4 descendants, Amram, Ezhar, Hebron, and Uziel. The clans descended from Merari were named after after two of his descendants, Mali and Mushi. These were the Levite clans, listed according to their family groups. The descendants of Gershon were composed of clans descended from Libni and Shimi. There were 7,500 males 1 month old or older among the Gershonite clans. They were assigned the area of the west of the tabernacle for their camp. The leader of the Gershonite clans was Eliasaph, son of Lael. These two clans were responsible to care for the tabernacle, including the sacred tent with its layers of coverings, the curtain at the entrance, the curtains of the courtyard that surrounded the tabernacle and altar, the curtain at the courtyard entrance, the ropes, and all the equipment related to their use. The descendants of Kohath were composed of the clans descended from Amram, Ezar, Hebron, and Uziel. There were 8,600 males from 1 month or older among the Kohathite clans. They were responsible for the care of the sanctuary, and they were assigned the area south of the tabernacle for their camp. The leader of the Kohathite clans were Eliasaph, son of Uziel. These four clans were responsible for the care of the ark, the table, the lampstand, the altars, the various articles used in the sanctuary, the inner curtain, and all the equipment related to their use. Eleazar, son of Aaron, the priest, was the chief administrator over all the Levites, with the special responsibility for the oversight of the sanctuary. The descendants of Merari were composed of the clans descended from Mali and Mushi. There were 6,200 males 1 month old and older among these Merarite clans. They were assigned the area north of the tabernacle for their camp. The leader of the Merarite clans were Zuriel, son of Abihal, and these two clans were responsible for the care of the frames supporting the tabernacle, the crossbars, the pillars, the bases, and all the equipment related to their use. They were also responsible for the posts of the courtyard and all their bases, pegs, and ropes. The area in front of the tabernacle in the east toward the sunrise was reserved for the tents of Moses and of Aaron and his sons, who made the final responsibility for the sanctuary on behalf of the people of Israel. Anyone other than the priest or Levite who went near the sanctuary was put to death. When Moses and Aaron counted the Levite clans at the Lord's command, the total number was 22,000 males 1 month or older. Verse 40, redeeming the firstborn sons. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Now count all the firstborn sons in Israel who are 1 month old or older, and make a list of their names. The Levites must be reserved for me as a substitutes for the firstborn sons of Israel. I am the Lord, and the Levites' livestock must be reserved for me as substitutes for the firstborn livestock of the whole nation of Israel." So Moses counted the firstborn sons of Israel, of the people of Israel, just as the Lord had commanded. The number of the firstborn sons who were 1 month old and older was 22,273. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Take the Levites as substitutes for the firstborn sons of the people of Israel, and take the livestock of the Levites as substitutes for the firstborn livestock of the people of Israel. The Levites belong to me. I am the Lord. There are 273 more firstborn sons of Israel than there are Levites. To redeem these extra firstborn, collect 5 pieces of silver from for each of them, each piece weighing the same as the sanctuary shekel, which equals 20 gerahs or gerahs. Give the silver to Aaron and his sons. Excuse me. I told you I was sleeping. I'm sorry. Give the silver to Aaron and his sons as a redemption price for the extra firstborns. So Moses collected the silver for redeeming the firstborn sons of Israel who exceeded the number of Levites. He collected 1,365 pieces of silver on behalf of the firstborn sons of Israel, each piece weighing the same as the sanctuary shekel. And Moses gave the silver for the redemption to Aaron and his sons, just as the Lord had commanded. Let's see what how long chapter 4 is. We can do 4. I guess we can do 4. Duties of the Kohathite clan. All right, so chapter 4 reads, Then the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, record the names of the members of the clans and the families of the Kohathite division of the tribe of Levi. List all the men between the ages of 30 and 50 who are eligible to serve in the tabernacle. The duties of the Kohathites at the tabernacle will relate to the most sacred objects. When the camp moves, Aaron and his sons must enter the tabernacle first to take down the inner curtain and cover the ark of the covenant with it. Then they must cover the thinner curtain with fine goatskin leather and spread out that a single piece of blue cloth. Finally, they must put the carrying poles of the ark in place. Next, they must spread a blue cloth over the table where the bread of the presence is displayed. And on the cloth, they will place the bowls, ladles, jars, pitchers, and the special bread. They must spread a scarlet cloth over all of this, and finally a covering of fine goatskin leather on top of the scarlet cloth. Then they must insert the carrying poles into the table. Next, they must cover the lampstand with the blue cloth along with its lamps, lamp snuffers, trays, and special jars of olive oil. Then they must cover the lampstand and its accessories with fine goatskin leather and place the bundle on a carrying frame. Next, they must spread the blue cloth over the gold incense altar and cover this cloth with fine goatskin leather. Then they must attach the carrying poles to the altar. They must take all of the remaining furnishings of the sanctuary and wrap them in a blue cloth, cover them with fine goatskin leather, and place them on the carrying frame. They must remove the ashes from the altar for sacrifices and cover the altar with the purple cloth. All the altar utensils, the fire pans, meat forks, shovels, basins, and all the containers must be placed on the cloth, and a covering of fine goatskin leather must be spread over them. Finally, they must put the carrying poles in place. The camp will be ready to move when Aaron and his sons have finished covering the sanctuary and all the sacred articles. The Kohathites will come and carry these things to the next destination, but they must not touch the sacred objects, or they will die. So these are the things from the tabernacle that the Kohathites must carry. Eleazar, son of Aaron, the priest, will be responsible for the oil of the lampstand and the fragrance incense, the daily grain offering, and the anointing oil. In fact, Eleazar will be responsible for the entire tabernacle and everything in it, including the sanctuary and its furnishings. Then the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, do not let the Kohathite clans be destroyed from among the Levites. This is what you must do, so they will live and not die when they approach the most sacred objects. Aaron and his sons must always go in with them and assign a specific duty or load to each person. The Kohathites must never enter the sanctuary to look at the sacred objects for even a moment, or they will die. The duties of the Gershonite clan, verse 21. And the Lord said to Moses, record the names of the members of the clans and families of the Gershonite division of the tribe of Levi. List all the men between the ages of 30 and 50 who are eligible to serve in the tabernacle. These Gershonite clans will be responsible for general service and carrying loads. They must carry the curtains of the tabernacle itself with its coverings, the outer covering of its fine goatskin leather, and the curtain for the tabernacle entrance. They are also to carry the curtains for the courtyard walls that surround the tabernacle and the altar, the curtain across the courtyard entrance, the ropes, and all the equipment related to their use. The Gershonites are responsible for all of these items. Aaron and his sons will direct the Gershonites regarding all their duties, whether it involves moving the equipment or doing other work. They must assign the Gershonites responsibility for the loads they are to carry. So these are the duties assigned to the Gershonite clans at the tabernacle. They will be directly responsible to Ithamar, son of Aaron the priest. The duties of the Merarite clan. Verse 29. Now record the names of the members of the clans and the families of the Merarite division of the tribe of Levi. List all the men between the ages of 30 and 50 who are eligible to serve in the tabernacle. Their only duty at the tabernacle will be to carry the loads. They will carry the frames of the tabernacle, the crossbar bars, the posts, and the bases, all the posts for the courtyard walls with their bases, pegs, and ropes, and all the accessories and everything else related to their use. Assign the various loads to each man by name. So these are the duties of the Merarite clan at the tabernacle. They are directly responsible to Ithamar, son of Aaron the priest. The summary of the registration. Verse 34. So Moses, Aaron, and the other leaders of the community listed the members of the Kohathite division by their clans and families. The list included all the men between 30 and 50 of age who are eligible to serve for service in the tabernacle, and the total number came up to 2,750. So this was a total of all of those from the Kohathite clans who were eligible to serve at the tabernacle. Moses and Aaron listed them, just as the Lord had commanded through Moses. The Gershonite division was also listed by its clans and families. The list included all the men between 30 and 50 years of age who were eligible for service in the tabernacle, and the total number came to 2,630. So this was the total of those from the Gershonite clans who were eligible to serve at the tabernacle. Moses and Aaron listed them just as the Lord had commanded. The Merarite division was also listed by its clans and families. The list included all the men between 30 and 50 years of age who were eligible for service in the tabernacle, and the total number came to 3,200. So this was the total of all those from the Merarite clans who were eligible for service. Moses and Aaron listed them just as the Lord had commanded through Moses. So Moses, Aaron, and the leaders of Israel listed all the Levites by their clans and families, all the men between 30 and 50 years of age who were eligible for service in the tabernacle and for its transportation, numbered 8,580. When their names were recorded as the Lord had commanded through Moses, each man was assigned his task and told what to carry. And so the registration was completed just as the Lord had commanded Moses. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of folk. All right, that's chapter 3 and 4. So we'll be back with chapter 5, y'all. I hope y'all have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for coming and reading with me. Y'all continue to have a great morning, afternoon, evening, and night. Love you. Peace.